Let's keep the conversation going with Fleur Hassan-Nahoum, former deputy mayor of Jerusalem and the host of the Quad. Welcome to First Edition.
Thank you so much.
So, Fleur, it appears while France may not have a problem giving Israel this extension, the Trump administration does and wants the full withdrawal by Sunday. Could this difference of opinion affect the ongoing hostage negotiations?
I hope not. I think President Trump, if anything, he is somebody who understands deals and what it is to try and keep to a deal. As of now, we know and we've reported that over 100 contraventions of the ceasefire with Hezbollah have occurred. We've reported what those contraventions are. There's a lot of still a lot of suspicious activities with armaments with Hezbollah. The Lebanese troops that are supposed to replace Hezbollah in certain areas have not gotten there yet. And so, unfortunately, we're not where we would have wanted to have been in the 60-day ceasefire. We want an extension to ensure that we're not back to where we were on the 8th of October, which is a Hezbollah that was strengthened and contravened UN Resolution 1701 that didn't allow them to have any type of presence south of the Litani River. So now we're in a situation that we're not going to be bullied and pushed into giving up on the other side, not keeping to the deal that they signed.
Well, the second hostage release is set for Saturday. Hamas, despite devastating losses, is still saying the Gaza ceasefire is a personal victory and a defeat for Israel. What can we expect in the upcoming days? Because we are going to be following the developments very, very closely as, again, these negotiations are occurring with terrorist organizations who are not necessarily trustworthy, and we really don't know what to expect from them.
Absolutely. Like, we had a ceasefire also on the 6th of October with Hamas. Right. We've had a war almost every year since we left the Gaza Strip in 2005, and they brutally took over in 2007. We don't know. It's a very delicate ceasefire. We don't know whether we can trust them. And of course, anything is a victory for them because they don't care about their own human suffering. So when you have and you're fighting an enemy that doesn't care about its own people, we care about their people more than they care about their people, then of course anything is a victory for them. You can't take this seriously.
So true. And Fleur, I'm not getting ahead of the three phases of this deal. I'm really optimistic that it will get done, especially given the fact that President Trump is in office and he wants both sides to actually adhere to the ceasefire deal and execute all three phases. However, let's look a little bit ahead with regard to what Gaza will look like. We do know that Netanyahu, his initial vision was to wipe out Hamas completely. But there is still some leadership still in place. So what will Gaza look like even after the three phases have been adhered to and executed?
I think that's the million-dollar question. And it really does depend, and this is where I think President Trump can add incredible value. It depends on what happens in the region. It depends on what happens with Saudi Arabia and with the other Abraham Accords countries. That, of course, this is something that President Trump, an incredible achievement that President Trump brought in his first administration, was the Abraham Accords. And I really, truly believe, and this is the point of light, that the only way that we can look at Gaza post-war is to get some of those regional actors, like the Emiratis, like the Saudi Arabians, countries that have done a lot to get rid of Islamic fundamentalism from their countries. They are experts at this. These are the types of players that we need to help us look at a much better post-war Gaza, better for its people. At the moment, Hamas, unfortunately, are still on their feet and are still in control. And in order to get rid of Hamas, we need to look beyond the military conflict and look at the sources of their funding. Look at the people who are still supporting them, like the Islamic Republic of Iran, like Qatar. We've got to cut the funding to these terrorists who have really brought the worst disaster to their people as well as to our people. Only then can we talk about an alternative rule in Gaza. We need a lot of help with this, and we certainly need a really deliberate campaign to ensure that they're no longer being funded and supported by powers such as Qatar, Turkey, and the Islamic Republic of Iran.
So true.
Well, we're now learning as well that one organization that has helped Hamas is UNRWA, the United Nations agency. The 3 hostages that were released said that, it was revealed that they were incarcerated in a refugee camp operated by UNRWA. Can you elaborate? We unfortunately don't have too much time, but curious to hear your perspective on that.
Yes, so UNRWA not only has hired and is still hiring terrorists, that many of the UNRWA terrorists actually took part in the massacre of the 7th of October. We've had UNRWA employees hold hostages. And now, a few days ago, we find out that the hostages that came out were being held in an UNRWA so-called shelter in a humanitarian zone. So if this doesn't tell you that UNRWA is completely poisoned and infiltrated and has to be dismantled, and a new order has to come into Gaza, I don't know what does.
Exactly. In fact, UNRWA should not have a seat at the table when this new government is negotiated. Fleur Hassan-Nahoum, thank you so much. We always are delightful to have you join us.
Thank you so much.
First Edition will be right back, folks.